If you're not subscribed to my channel, press that little red button and subscribe because there's lots of exciting things to come. Jade here from the Rawsome Truth. Something I actually discussed today, and it's a question that I've heard over the years from so many people on so many different things that they're doing in their life. My family don't understand what I'm doing. They don't accept what I'm doing. And I think it's such a difficult thing for everybody because the one thing that we always want is the people that we love and care about to accept what we're doing in our life. Now, my daughter rang me today and she was at my mother's house yesterday. Now, before I say this, I just want to say I love my mum. She was at my mum's house yesterday and my mum didn't understand a few of the things that she's doing. And she said, well, my mum accepts everything I do and mum supports me and blah, blah, blah. And she questioned my daughter on a few different things because Gabby's coming over to Thailand to see me for 2 months. And she said, and my mum said to her, I actually have to laugh, it's so funny. She said, I don't even think you moisturise your hair any longer. And she said, you're going to turn out to be just like your mum, a vegan hippie. And I think for anybody who's vegan or who even just changes their diet or wants to do something that's not in the box that regular people are doing, there always has to be some contention by family or friends. It just goes hand in hand. And I said to my daughter, are you taking drugs? Which I know she's not. She said, no. I said, are you doing anything illegal? And she said, no. I said, are you happy with what you're doing in your life? And she said, yes. And I said, well, that's all that matters. What matters is how you feel about what you're doing. Nobody's ever going to understand what you're doing. I'm a bit of a free spirit. I want to do what I want to do. My mother's never been able to conform me. She was probably hoping with my daughter she was going to be the one. But she's taken after me and decided she's going to live her own life. And I think, if you really, really, really want to love your life and find happiness in your own life, you have to do what's right for you and get yourself out of the little walls that society puts us in. And it's funny, I started to really realise that we have to conform in society. Years ago, I was in Sydney and we were staying on one of the main streets there in the middle of the city, and Sydney is very, very busy, especially compared to Adelaide where I come from. And I looked down from our hotel room and I could just see all little people, but they looked like ants. And I said, you know what, we're ants. We're all just ants. Everybody's just going to work, hating their life, living the same lives over and over and over and over and over again, working for these big houses, working for these fancy cars, working to keep up with the Joneses next door and the Smiths on the other side, and really never enjoying their life. And I think for anybody, if you really want to enjoy your life and you really want to love your life and you want to do what you want to do, live your dreams, live your passion, you have to be able to understand that no one's going to understand you. And that's okay. That's okay. No one has to, because it's your journey. Nobody else's. This is your life. And, ultimately, I guess everybody wants us to have these white picket fence lives, but that's not realistic anyway. Like, seriously, even if you have the picket fence, is it really the Brady Bunch once you go inside? Probably not. Everybody has their trials, everybody has their unhappiness and whatever else. I think it's just so important that you live the life you want to live. And even if it's just something so simple as dietary. And, because most people, especially if you want to eat raw or if you want to eat vegan, nobody understands you. Everyone thinks, oh, you're a bit cuckoo, but you're not cuckoo. You've actually switched the light on and you're actually starting to have a conscience and you're starting to have some compassion and you're starting to open your eyes up and actually see what goes on in this world. If you are eating this way for an ethical reason. But even if you're going that one step further and you're eating as a raw person, probably most people don't understand you. Look, no one really that I personally know completely understands me, and I'm okay with that. I know who I am. And that is probably the most important thing, that I know who I am, I know what I've been through, I know exactly where I'm going, and I know where I am at this present moment. And for me, that's what matters more than anything else, is how I feel about me. If people want to say I'm a hippie, if people want to say I'm a bit cuckoo, if people want to say she's a bit out there, she's a bit crazy, they can say whatever she wants. That she wants, he wants, they want. It doesn't matter to me, because I'm living the life I want to live. I'm living my dreams, and if I didn't have the strength to start living the life I wanted to live many years ago and shutting out the noise of other people and saying, you know what, I don't really care what you've got to say. And I never used to be like this. Years and years ago, I used to worry so much about what people thought. And then as I got older and older, I started to realise, you know what? Why am I worrying about what people think about me? And I think too many people in our society worry far too much about what people think of us. And, at the end of the day, does it matter? Does it really matter? How is it affecting anybody else? How I eat, where I'm living, who I live with, who I spend my time with? As long as I'm not hurting anybody, how does it affect anybody? It doesn't. But people want to make such songs and dances about what other people do. And the truth is, 90% of the time, people do it because they're miserable with their own life. And they're not doing what they want with their life. Another reason people may do it is because they're scared of losing you. Scared of losing the you that they've always known. And that's when you need to explain to people, hey, I'm still the same person, but this is the direction I'm going in. And, we can still spend time together, we can still hang out, whatever, but please accept that I eat differently to you, I think differently to you, whatever. In Australia, especially, when you're a really healthy person, and you don't drink, which I don't drink, you don't get invited to as many things as you probably used to, because people think you're a bit of a wet blanket. And to be honest with you, that's okay with me, because as a sober person, I don't want to be around drinkers. I find them rather boring. I find the conversations really boring. And I sit there and I just think, wow, I can't believe I was ever a drinker. So I think little by little, as you start to change your life, and I guess for somebody like me who's been changing my life for nearly 10 years now, 10 years ago in September this year, I gave up drinking. So that was the start of real big major changes in my life, and that was a major, major change. And nobody understood me then. And I cut off people in my life, and certain people cut off me, and that was okay, because I made a new circle of friends. And that's the thing, as you change, as you evolve, as you grow, you meet more people who you've got more in common with. And I've met many, many people over the years. that I do lots of different things with. You know, my life 10 years ago was going down to the pub and drinking, or sitting up all night drinking and smoking and all those kind of different things. Whereas nowadays I might get up really early in the morning and meet someone and go for a big walk. Maybe have a healthy breakfast afterwards at a vegan cafe or something like that. It's just different things. I'm usually in bed by 8:30, 9, 10 o'clock's a real late night because I'm just a party goer. And so I don't really go out much late at night. I don't really like going out in the evening. Even when I get invites to go out, I think, do I really want to? So, it's getting people to understand those kind of things too. People don't always get it. I think the most important thing for anybody who wants to make changes in your life is just worry about you and worry about how you're feeling about you. If you put too much time worrying about what other people think of you, then you're never going to be the true you. And for me, being true to myself, being true to who I am is more important than what any other person thinks, because I'm not out there hurting anybody. I'm just being me, free, happy, and full of life. So that's something for you all to think about. So live free and love life. Bye for now.